Welcome, my dearest audience, to the grand premiere of my very own concluding impressions of the even grander 2.8 Genshin Impact update. Be ready to be enlightened with the greatest, most purposeless of knowledge that I bestow upon thee, my opinion. Yeah, I can't keep up the Chuny talk, sorry. But Genshin 2.8 final thoughts, that's what it's all about. 2.8 brought us a bunch of content, both new and old, depending on when you started the game. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you enjoyed all of it. I'm sure that you ate your vegetables like a good little kid, just like the rest of us. Just the vegetables in this case aren't the healthy kind. Sumeru is just around the corner, and I can't wait to start touching Dendro, so let's quickly take a look at what 2.8 had to offer. First of all are the banners. Kazuha and Klee together took the scene in 2.8's first phase. I myself was very hyped for Kazuha since I missed his first banner. He's great for Abyss, and he's just super fun to play. My earliest memories of Genshin actually date back to his first banner, which is ancient history at this point. Klee and Kazuha both came out with a new character who's just as fun as Kazuha and loves getting up and close and personal with it. Shikanoin Heizo. The sheer force, the patterns of his attacks, and their uniqueness in being melee animo attacks really stands him out from the Genshin roster. In the second phase comes Yoimiya, whom I've had to unfortunately skip again, since the first time I wanted her she refused to come home at Hard Pity, and instead I got Raiden, which isn't exactly a bad thing. Raiden's really cool. It's just so frustrating. I've had to skip her banner twice already. Well, moving on from the banners to the events, where the meat of this update is held, so let's get that out of the way. There were 5 events in total, and only one was better than the rest, and obviously that was the Summertime Odyssey event. The event that brought back the Gapple Archipelago and introduced a whole new story, mechanics, and quirks along with it. The Summertime Odyssey event had a lot to unpack. Like, a lot. So let me try to break it down without wasting much of your time. Mona, Fischl, Kazuha, Xinyan, and you all go to the Gapple Archipelago to relax this Teyvat summer. But while exploring the island a little with Kazuha, you find a weird and wacky machine that was built and left behind by the Fatui. The Fatui have left traces all over the archipelago, unfortunately, so that gives you another thing to worry about. After a weird exchange with some Fatui members,
Give me that Cappy Cap! Oh, hell no, man.
Kazuha decides to keep this a secret, but once you reunite with everyone for dinner, the whole archipelago starts changing its form, and we get a little foreshadowing of what is to come when the event starts unraveling itself over the next few days. The event let us experience a whole new, interesting, but at the same time slightly annoying mechanic, which is being able to switch the formations of the islands. Whole islands were able to be switched out and replaced with entirely different geography and puzzles, which at the start made me very annoyed because of this monstrosity. This also meant that treasure hunting was gonna be a massive pain. Luckily, I had more than enough time since the archipelago was up for the whole update. No pressure. In the event story, each character had different designated islands that were themed after them along with their own domains. And the main idea was that the machine we found at the start was able to look through our memories and we were able to play through them. In order, we played through Kazuha's backstory. We find out how he became a wanderer at the cost of his clan and its legacy. Then we played through Xinyan's past, understanding a little bit more about her character, her upbringing, how other people saw her in a bad light because she liked rock music, and how she dealt with her haters. Next was Fischl, or if you didn't know, Amy, as she's actually called. Fights herself in this domain, trying to overcome her insecurities, her past, and takes hold of her identity as Fischl, as she finally accepts her flaws. This one hit a little hard. And finally, Mona. Mona's domain gave us some more insight on what it really means to be an astrologist. Being an astrologist is a very important job since she basically knows everything. She expresses how sacred the art is and how gigs like fortune telling don't do it justice, and she's actually not as poor as we thought she was. Now, every domain had its own set of puzzles that gives me a headache just thinking about, but it was different. I was into the concept and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Overall, it was a fun summer event. It was filler, but I didn't hate it. The archipelago still did come with its cons, of course, and my main problem was that they removed all of the fun parts of the area. All gone. Just this little hoop in memory of the old mechanic that I wish we could revisit, like a piece of history in a museum. Now, Summertime Odyssey wasn't the only piece of content in this update, so let's go over some of the others right now. Cause we also got new skins, like the one I'm wearing right now, which is actually for official, cause I can't pull off a D-look look, and I'm not an edgelord. Aside from events, there were new quests that were added, like Kazua's story quest and Heijo's dating sim. And an extra bonus is that when you finish Kazua's story quest, you get the new sword that's basically a buffed out flute, but matches his Canadian aesthetic perfectly. Aside from those two big quests, I was actually really into two other quests exclusive to the update. One where you watch an entire play performed by ravens, and another with a talking boat. Yeah. The talking boat quest was kind of a retelling of a similar story told in the quest from the original Gapple Archipelago in 1.6, which I actually remember playing. So it loses a bit of points there. But the ending was sad, and it made me sad because the boat stopped talking. The Raven play was something I didn't expect though. You listened and watched the performance by these ravens, and sometimes in the middle, you'd have to choose which raven takes what role and dialogue. Sure, it was quite the challenge to sit through, but I was intrigued that HoYoverse made this bold move. In this next part, I'll be talking about the content in the update that I wasn't that into. And the main subjects of this matter are the three other events that I didn't mention in the first part. Two of these three I've actually considered giving more credit, but unfortunately, they didn't cut it for me. The first is the Reminiscent Regimen event. I was initially very looking forward to this one because it's actually a co-op event. Although co-op sounds fun, the game modes were pretty lacking. A lot of the time, it felt more like a race against your co-op mates to reach the end first or do the most damage, and it doesn't feel that rewarding aside from the primals you get by getting high enough points and playing the mode once. It doesn't feel very co-op-y, unlike other really fun co-op game modes like Wind Trace. And it isn't that much, again, rewarding, since at the end of the rounds it seems like everyone is praised and credited for something, like even staying behind. There's no competitiveness and no replayability as you play around once and get the primals and move on. Next is the Hidden Strife event, a PvE event that allows you to try out Diluc's skin once. I so wish they let us play around with it more because it's so cool, but that would also mean implementing a fleshed out character selection menu. They could allow him to stay as the 5th member, but that also runs into some complications considering what the event is about. It's a PvE with a twist, kind of. Is it? In Genshin? Every level has requirements you have to meet on the battlefield. Nothing too special really. The combat in Genshin is really fun. I was just kind of bothered by the fact that they kind of used this event as advertising for his new outfit and only let us try it once. Come on, let me go for the real test drive. And the least of all, Evermotion mechanical painting. This is child's play. Okay, this is child's play. At this point, all that I was doing for the primals suddenly felt like a massive chore. Look at me, not enjoying myself, racking my head trying to fit the cards in this puzzle. And in my life, for primals, currency, money, waifus, never again. Never again. Nope. At least the web event was really cute. And that's my take on 2.8. We're still waiting for more meaning and engaging content, and luckily Sumeru's here, and I can't wait to 100% it day one. From the trailers that they've put out, it looks beautiful. The characters look stunning. I can't wait to get my hands on some of them. hopefully if I win my 50-50s. And I can't wait to explore the desert as well and see how big the map really is. Another thing I'm hoping for is that they buff Electro. So that's all for 2.8. I appreciate it if you've reached this point, and if you did, consider liking, consider subbing. It really helps, and I appreciate it sincerely a lot. And I will see you in 3.0. Okay, pulling time. Okay. Pulling time. Time to get Kazuha. It's guaranteed. Okay, Freedom Sworn first. Let's go. No. Okay, Stan, if you're watching this, you're watching this. I know this. Okay, let's go. Oh, I didn't get my monthlies. Why isn't it not coming out? Is he waiting? Is he waiting? What's going on? What's going on? He doesn't. The game's just not letting me pull. Oh my gosh, did I just waste? What happened? What's going on? Oh, there's no Wi-Fi. Okay, I still have my... Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
You know one thing that pissed me off when I was pulling? Dude, I got so many link blocks.
Oh my gosh.
Alright.
Damn, that's hot. Alright, okay, Julian, let's go. This brings me back so far. Let's go.
What's your pity? What's your pity?
Like 50, I don't know.
Oh, first one.
Oh my gosh, he's here. He's here. He's guaranteed. All right, I got Kuching and Yelan's banner. It's here. It's here. The Wi-Fi better give me a buff. The Wi-Fi better give me a buff. The Wi-Fi better give me a buff right now. The Wi-Fi. Okay. The Wi-Fi better give me a buff.